Hey everyone! According to a leak from Tyler McVicker during a recent livestream, Half-Life 3 is reportedly in development. The source behind this info is the same one who accurately leaked Half-Life Alyx before its official reveal, adding some real weight to these claims. And we are here to talk about it.
That's right. Half-Life 3, or HLX as its working title is. I didn't actually believe I would ever seriously hear about it anymore, but here we are. And this time we have information that carries some weight because it's coming directly from Tyler McVicker. It's a Valve insider. He accurately leaked Half-Life Alyx before. And during a live stream he did a few days ago on his YouTube channel, he was asked, and I quote by a viewer, "How confident are you that Half-Life 3 will actually come to fruition given its history?" And he answered, and I quote again, "This is the furthest it's ever been. The game is playable end to end. It's never been that far. They are optimizing. They are content locked or mechanic locked." And that means that either their content or mechanics are already done. So, Martin, what are your first thoughts about that?
My thoughts about it are that doesn't necessarily mean it gets released just because they're working on it. This could be something that isn't that the kind of Valve philosophy that they can just work on whatever they want whenever they want. They do it just as a vanity project or to further their skills. But then just like us musicians, we work on a song for 10 years and then we decide, it's not good enough to be published. So is that really happening? I can't believe it. I'm only 40 and I'm talking about Half-Life 3. Is this real?
Theoretically, yes, but there is more information, and that is that he also said in the same stream that he thinks the game is going to release this year. And if it won't release this year, it would at least be announced this year. According to some other sources, he said it as well, but there was another a leaker called Gabe Follower earlier this year that reportedly said that Half-Life 3 was being widely playtested. That's the exact words that he used. And apparently that playtest included other departments within Valve that were not working on it, but also friends and family members of developers. And that's where this information is reportedly coming from. So I think we finally are at a point that these rumors sound real and we might actually be close to getting Half-Life 3, maybe even end of this year. And that is incredibly exciting.
That would change the entire dynamic of the games industry as we know it right now, because everybody is holding their breath for GTA 6, and out of left field comes Half-Life 3 to change it all up. The question for me is, what would you expect from Half-Life 3 at this point? Because Half-Life and Half-Life 2 were generational games that were a cut above the entire competition when they came out. They were revolutionary. So a game being as good as Half-Life 2 is going to be an utter disappointment.
Yeah.
In the same vein that Half-Life Alyx is the best VR game ever made. I haven't played it because I'm not a VR guy, but it is one of the most, if not the most revolutionary VR game. I think Valve always held their breath about this because they felt like it needed to be that generational title. It would have to be an Elden Ring, a Breath of the Wild type thing. So what would that look like in a shooter format? What would that even be? Like, I lack the fantasy of what that would even look like, a game that stands above everything else in the genre.
I think it's going to be it's going to be a very tight thing, of course, because Half-Life 2 and maybe Half-Life 1 also, but Half-Life 2 I feel even more so, was not just a genre-defining game, it was an industry-defining game. Mm-hmm. It's revolutionized concepts on absolutely every single level. Gameplay, storytelling, graphics, and last but not least, the physics engine, which was absolutely crazy. So the whole game for me was something that went above and beyond. They went a lot further than they really needed to go, right? And in this case, the bar was set so high by Half-Life 2 that just meeting that bar is not going to be enough. The hype and the expectation of the industry is so high for this game. So I also have trouble imagining what Half-Life 3 would look like. Even though we do know a couple of things already from that same stream and also from the earlier leaks. That is, one, it's not an open world game. 2, it's not a
thank
VR
God.
title. No, that's actually really good that it's not open world. It's not VR. And there were some other things from the Gabe Follower leak that, for instance, there is supposedly a component that has something to do with navigation in altered gravity. So you could think of, I don't know, gravitational pads that the gravity flips around and you're stuck to a wall or something like that, or something with low gravity. There have been hints found that something like that is in the game. The engine is already known, so it's reportedly going to be the Source 2 engine, so the same engine as Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and this new MOBA that they have in development. I don't know the name.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I was invited to the beta testing, but it's not something I'm interested in.
Yeah, it's not for me either. There was also a hint at that they were going to do something with flammable materials that have different flammable properties, flame retardant properties that burn at a certain rate or something like that.
That's probably the most room for innovation in those types of areas. Like, do you know the game Teardown?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a voxel-based destruction game. Like something like that, integrating that into the shooter, or like massively manipulable or destructible environments, or physics or physics-based effects. Like not just gravity, but also oxidation, fire, explosions.
Total systemic design, right? Like creating systems that allow you to create certain emergent gameplay moments in the game, which of course was the whole reason that they introduced the Havoc engine in Half-Life 2, which later spawned the creation of Gary's mod. Because even though Half-Life 2 had a lot of moments where the physics engine was used, it went a lot further than actually the game went, right? So that spawned the interest of Gary, that created Gary's mods. Like, what can this engine do that the game didn't show us? And if this is going to contain elements that are going to go in the same direction, I'm very excited for it. I really, really like that.
Yeah, no, this whole gravity thing you mentioned, that sounds like something they could have like pulled from Portal 2, for instance.
Yeah.
Like those, like a light puzzle type of influence. Doesn't have to be as extreme as Portal, but I could see that working very, very well. But yeah, so these types of effects, like it's kind of that Bioshock thing, right? You have a puddle of water and a lightning, electricity. You combine the two, and you get a surge.
Different type of effect, like synergies,
or you could combine oil and fire, or an explosion would push an object away, and have like a knock-on effect. Like I could see crazy domino effects, like possibly happening. Like that is definitely something that I feel like is totally underused in the world of first-person shooters.
Yeah,
we're gonna have probably very good graphics, but unless something substantial happens, I think it will be very difficult to create like a new generational benchmark. Because also considering what the other games of Valve look like, which are not focused around graphics at all.
No. Half-Life 2 was, at the time that it came out, it was quite revolutionary graphics-wise, but after that, I think they didn't really focus that much on that part anymore, which I'm actually glad for, because I'm not a big fan of the Unreal 5 engine, and knowing that this is not going to be an Unreal 5 game actually does me some good. I think I like that.
I think that's a huge advantage at this point, especially with there being such a blowback to the Unreal 5 engine. It's probably not the engine's fault, maybe to a degree, but not so much, but more with like developers making like
it's a lot of the default
taking shortcuts
settings, like Lumen and everything.
You can probably make like a game appear in all kinds of different ways in Unreal 5, but there is one way that is easier than all others, and everybody seems to be gravitating towards the path of least resistance, and I guess that's where the bad rep comes from. So that alone, having the game in a different engine, like look at the new Death Stranding material. Have you seen the Death Stranding 2 trailer? It looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And that is down to the fact that it has such a unique look because it's not on Unreal Engine 5.
It's so samey, all of the Unreal Engine 5 games, most of them at least. And I think I also really like the look of Half-Life 2. There was just something about the Source engine, the Source 1 engine, that made everything look very appealing. There was this type of a believable, realistic type of graphics, but that are still kind of video gamey enough to kind of support the rest of the game. I still like the aesthetic of that engine.
I mean, I played Portal 2 not too long ago, like maybe a couple months ago, and it looked absolutely mind-blowing. Like the environments, the draw distances, and also the physics effects, like the structured effects, like even the set pieces, but they looked really, really, really good. I thought that game did not look like it's 14 years old or whatever.
No, neither does Half-Life 2, and Half-Life 2 is already...
I think it's 2002 or something.
2004. I think it was 2004. Yeah. So it's to the game's merit that it's still looking so good after so much time. Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, regarding the release window, I actually think that because GTA 6 got pushed to next year, we actually might have an increased chance of this releasing this year, because all the games, of course, are trying to avoid GTA, because GTA releases are like a black hole, right?
It's a behemoth. You don't want to go against.
It's a huge black hole that you don't want to go against that, because it just sucks everything up, right? All your attention is gone. Even with Half-Life 3, probably GTA is still bigger. So
they're probably going to release the Horizon MMO around that time.
Possibly.
The first Horizon game launched next to Breath of the Wild. The second Horizon game launched next to Elden Ring. So...
Now it's their chance.
They're going for the 3 out of 3. No, yeah, let's see. I'm stoked. I would play that day one for sure.
Me too.
Yeah,
100%.
I would. That would be one of the, like, I could probably name 3 to 5 developers where I would pre-order, and Valve putting out Half-Life is one of those few occasions where I would actually go for it.
Totally agreed. Yeah.
All right, guys. You got anything else here? I think that's it.
I think we're good.
The news.
Yeah. Let's pray and let's hope it's good.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to comment. We want to build and foster a beautiful community of gamers here. And
what are your hopes for Half-Life 3? We would love to hear them.
Yes. Bye-bye, y'all.
See ya. Bye.